welcome you to this feature we have started, The Humans of Robotic Surgery. And historically, as I read more, you will tell our viewers that you were the one who were prime movers of Da Vinci robotics in the United States and perhaps the whole world. And over to you to tell us your story.
Sure. Well, first of all, Mahendra, it's a pleasure, and David, thank you for helping us here. My name is Pascal Goldschmidt. I've been in academic medicine in the United States for about 40 years now, and really the experience of robotic surgery has been one that I find extremely interesting. There were substantial progress that had been made relative to the surgical techniques, but there was not a anything that was truly, a game changer. I mean, the development of anesthesia was a great improvement. The improvement of sterility, the quality of the instrument, the expertise of the surgeons, all that made a gradual progress, but there was no sea change in the surgical techniques. And I was always very interested in the most cutting edge technologies that were being developed across the world during my career. And I became aware of the new technology developed by the Da Vinci, and specifically by Intuitive Surgical, who was the company that was developing the Da Vinci robotic surgery. And I found it to be extremely interesting. There was a competing technology, I think the name was Zeus, that was developed about at the same time. And a lot of surgeons were enthusiastic for the Zeus technology. A lot of surgeons were enthusiastic for the Da Vinci technology. But looking at the advantage of the Da Vinci technology, there was no question that that was the technique that would be successful in my mind. I was helped substantially by two individuals. One is a European surgeon that I'd known for quite a long time, Didier de Canière. Didier de Canière was a surgeon in Brussels, Belgium. He was at the Université Libre de Bruxelles, which is the Free University of Brussels. He was clearly a leader in his field, and he had become very interested in robotic surgery. And so I asked him, would there be an opportunity for us to bring such an instrument in the United States? And he was kind enough to connect me with Intuitive Surgical, and that was the beginning of this relationship. The other individual is an American surgeon named Robert Mishler, who was the chief of the division of cardiothoracic surgery at the Ohio State University, where we both were working. And Robert was Rob, as we call him, was a visionary, and he, when I talked to him about it, he immediately saw the potential benefit of the technology. So we decided to convince the Ohio State University in 1999 to acquire the first Da Vinci robot for the United States. And we went to see the president of the university, who is a wonderful individual named Britt Kerwin. Britt Kerwin had been the president of OSU for a few years, and he was a mathematician, which was great because he was very well versed in scientific prowesses and the application to the field of medicine. And so it was it was a very nice, I think, early afternoon. We went to see Britt, and we told him about the robotic technology. And Britt was fascinated by it. He told us that definitely we needed to acquire that technology. And then he said, but how are you going to pay for it? Well, to be honest with you, we had not really come up with a solution for that. So Rob and I, but he said, look, if you find the money, get it. So we went out outside of his office, and as we were walking, we came across an individual who was on the board of trustees, I believe, at the time. He and his wife were good friends. His name is Sam Davis, and his wife Sheila. And Sam and Sheila were just walking in the street. I stopped them. I said, Sam, we need to bring the Da Vinci technology to the Ohio State University. And Rob is very excited about it. He wants to make sure that we use it. And Sam said, a robot to do surgery. And we say, yes, a robot to do surgery. I love robots. I was at the exposition in a particular year, international exposition, and I was on the stand where we were showing robots, and I was manipulating the robots. So I love robots. And he said, how much is it going to cost you? He's a businessman. I think that he was in the water purification business at the time. And we say, well, it's going to be, X amount of money. I think it was somewhere around $500,000. He opened his checkbooks and wrote a check for the cost of the robot.
Wow.
So with that little piece of paper, that's extremely important. And again, life is a series of coincidences, right? So we, with that check, we immediately organized to go and visit Didier Decanier and the folks of Intuitive Surgical. And it didn't take much effort to convince them that we should be the place to bring the first Da Vinci robot to the United States, the first commercial prototype of the Da Vinci robot. In July of 1999 is when the first surgeries were performed. Now, we had to find a surgeon that had experience in doing robotic surgery in the United States. And of course, nobody was doing that type of robotic surgery. So we could not just recruit somebody from another university, but we found Dr. Wolf from Cincinnati, who had done surgeries in Europe, I believe, and was experienced with the technology and was willing to join us to do robotic surgery. At the time, the idea was to use the technology for cardiothoracic surgery, because that is the technique that had been pursued by Intuitive Surgical, and so the first application was believed to be best in cardiothoracic surgery. I'm a cardiologist. Rob Mitchell was a cardiothoracic surgeon, so that was a good fit for us. And so we recruited Dr. Wolf, and the first surgeries were done. And what Rob Mitchell did extremely well is to organize a formidable training program. And when I say formidable, I can tell you that I had never seen that before. I'd been at Johns Hopkins University before. I have been at Duke University since, and the University of Miami, but I'd never seen the organization of a training program of that caliber. Cardiothoracic surgeons were flying from Stanford to Harvard and everybody in between to learn how to use the robot. And it was a course that was extremely well organized, and they were performing surgeries with the robot on models, and they could become familiar. The uniqueness of the technology is that there was this exquisite little wrist of the instruments that could really function almost like the hand of a surgeon, and that gave extraordinary flexibility to perform complex procedures. The field that developed the most rapidly was the field of urology. I think that the concept that you could remove a prostate cancer, remove the prostate with the use of a technology like robotic surgery is one that was revolutionary at the time, and Manny Menon, who was a urology surgeon, together with his team and Dr. Bhandari in particular, this group was instrumental in developing the application of robotic surgery to the field of urology. And I went to visit with Dr. Bhandari long time ago, right? But it was amazing. I mean, to come and see what they'd been able to develop with the robotic approach. And that was, that was the first time that the robotic technique was used for urological interventions. By now, there are, I don't know, 250,000 surgeries that are being done in the field of urology per year. I want to thank you on behalf of everybody that has contributed to this field, and David, for what you're doing, because sometimes it's important to look back, and it's the best way to change the future, is to understand how we did what we did, and then use the lessons learned, and make the future a better place. And God knows if we need to make the future a better place.